Good afternoon. What is cooking today in the wide-eyed way? Well, clearly not very much because I'm at my desk. I'm deep in work today, and so I'm going to grab a salad with leftover chicken from Sunday. So I've got that all mapped out. I've already had bacon and eggs this morning, so I'm getting my protein levels, obviously getting my superb eggs in there as well. Don't I go on about eggs? Anyway, I'm Natasha Hodge. I hopefully help you every day to nourish yourself, to get the best from your body and to understand how your body works. Today, I wanted to share with you an experience that I have noticed very recently. I mean, it's been an ongoing thing for about 10 years, and I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I have, I spent sort of 40 years absolutely addicted to sugar, and I had yo-yoing weight and chronic eczema for all that time. I also had many other things go wrong: back complaints, asthma, hay fever, food allergies, you know, you name it, I had it. So when I gave up sugar back in 2013, so I started my healthy eating quest, you know, I needed the answers to why I didn't lose weight permanently, you know, on the low fat, high carb way of eating that we're always told about. So when I started in 2013, I gave up fructose, so that's fruit sugar, and that's pretty much normal fruit sugar. So that's honey, maple syrup, golden syrup, table sugar, that sort of thing. Swapped for glucose, which didn't have quite as bad an effect. And obviously becoming a nutritional advisor and a nutritionist and getting all my qualifications, the more I look into sugar, the more detrimental it becomes in terms of what it's doing to us. And it's in pretty much most products. But having eliminated it to a certain extent, still using glucose-based products, I obviously lost weight and everything's stabilised. And then as you get older, you're coming up against other health issues. And obviously as a woman, as a 50-year-old woman, I'm now in perimenopause. And most of the time my mental health is pretty good. I've had very bad episodes, but that's for another day. And that wasn't to do with sugar. That was to do with vitamin deficiencies and what I was eating and the experiments I was doing. But more and more, of course, the menopause impacts you, and so you have to use other strategies. And obviously, you know, I use low carb and I use fasting, and I pretty much don't eat very much sugar, even glucose-based things these days, and even the xylitols and erythritols that we've been talking about recently. But the trouble is, when you do a lot or a long time eating in the way I do, you get to the point when you think, I'm so healthy now, surely a little bit of sugar won't do me any harm. So every now and again I go into a mode where I justify everything, and I think, well, just, you know, I'm totally healthy most of the year. So every now and again, if I'm out with friends or my family, I'll think to myself, oh, I'll have an ice cream. You know, I'm very partial to an ice cream, so I'll have an ice cream. And then that kind of makes me think, oh, well, I've had an ice cream today, perhaps I'll have a little bit of chocolate. I'm very partial to a chocolate banana. And then, before you know it, you're kind of saying, well, I'll have something sweet at the weekend. And then, before you know it, you're justifying that you're using a lot of energy. As I've said before, I do a 4-hour sort of side hustle, as it were, to keep myself fit. And so I think, well, that's fine. I can have a bit more sugar, say on a Wednesday evening, you know, if I feel like it. And before you know it, and before I knew it, I was eating sugar maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Now here's the thing. I started to notice that the day after I had sugar, I didn't feel great. And I'm not saying I felt unwell. I mean, my mental health was definitely suffering. And it's to the point of bad moods, not being able to cope with stressful situations, and generally feeling like anxiety is coming on. Pretty much, I'm a chilled out woman. I'm a busy woman, but I'm pretty chilled out. But every time I eat sugar, I have what can only be described as a sort of mental blip the next day. So it really impacts me. And this is going to be my point. If you eat sugar on a daily basis, you will not know the difference between how it feels when you don't eat sugar with when you do, because your body is acclimatized to it. You know, it's used to having this stuff coming in all the time. And so unless you go without it for a while, you'll never know the difference. And I mean, when I initially gave it up, I ended up with so much energy. I was like, oh my God, is this how my body is supposed to feel? Because I've always been the type of person that really is, you know, a bit of a couch potato. That was, you know, pre-discovering giving up sugar. And so when I had that boost of energy, I was literally, I don't know what to do with it. And I ended up gravelling a drive with 22,000 kilos of gravel. I did that on my own. So, you know, all I'm saying is, why don't you give up every type of sugar for a month and see how you feel? Because if you have any kind of anxiety or depression, or your menopause symptoms are getting too much for you, or you've got achy joints, I mean, to be honest, every type of ailment can be linked back to sugar. And so why don't you just allow yourself to enjoy a period where you don't have it? You might have a little bit of withdrawal at the beginning, and if you want to know what those withdrawal symptoms are, just message me and I'll let you know. But it only takes 2 or 3 days to get it out of your system, and then you'll see what true freedom and mental clarity really is. To be honest, these days, and certainly in the last month or so, I have realised I really, maybe it is just the stage of life that I'm at, I really don't want to eat sugar. It's that bad that it scares me. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to have that anxious, mood altering feeling the day after, just for the sake of having you know, a 5-minute eat of something that contains sugar. There's so much food to enjoy. There's so much food to enjoy. If you're eating full fat everything, the food is so enjoyable, and it's still enjoyable without sugar. I promise you, I couldn't have been more of a sugarholic before 10 years before now. And so if I could do it, anybody can do it. But I want you to eliminate any anxiety, any mental health issues you have. And so I just wanted to share my experience with you. And, you know, I suppose there's never going to be, I'm certainly not going to spend a lifetime of avoiding sugar forever, but do I want to feel like that? No, I don't. I really, really don't. And that's what I want. I want to help you. I want to make sure you get the best from your health. And I want you to know that everything that goes on with your body is linked to food. Everything. Because if you think about what our bodies are made of, we have building blocks. What is the fuel and the material that's needed to build those blocks. Food. Food is the only thing. So I'm here to help you. I want you to nourish yourselves. I want you to treat yourself to a bigger slice of life and not a bigger slice of cake. You take care of yourselves. Any comments are always welcome, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.